Top Boy on Netflix is racist. That's also what I thought before I ended up binge watching all seasons of this hugely popular show about a drug gang in London.
It's gonna be chaos.
A lot of people say it's just another black against black violence story. Turns out it's much deeper than that. And it's made me realize our freedom of choice is not that free. First, let's start with a crazy anecdote. Top Boy was originally cancelled after 2 seasons, but there was a pretty famous guy who really wanted to know what would happen to his favorite characters, Sully and Duchesne. So he went to Netflix to restart the machine. As simple as that. Can you guess who that is? That's right, guys. I'm talking about Drake. Today, many critics said that Drake shouldn't have produced another show about black violence.
Shoot him on sight no matter where the fuck he is.
It's not helping the black cause. Let's hear their arguments. Nick Moss is a British philosopher. He explains there is a concept called black on black crime. This term was originally forged to facilitate Operation Trident in the UK. It's Metropolitan Police Service unit set up in 1998 to tackle gun crime, specifically in the black community. According to Nick Moss, the government overused the term black on black crime, and it fueled the rise of the far right at the time. In this view, Top Boy would actually make things worse, right? Not so fast. First of all, the show is not about bad guys doing bad things. It's about structural violence, as Norwegian sociologist Johan Goltang calls it. Let me explain. Even if most of the characters' actions are really brutal, you see how they got there. Take the example of Attica. Attica is a young 12-year-old boy, excellent student in class, living in summer house in East London. We suppose Ats is innocent, like any child his age would be. But that is until one particular event changes everything and makes him fall brutally into adulthood. One day, his mother, who raises him alone, loses her job because she's been declared an illegal immigrant, which she is not. Attica is immediately conscious of what this situation implies for them. No money. So, Ats starts finding ways to make money.
What is this? What would make you happy?
It begins by him and his friend Steph cutting class to sell hamburgers until he starts stealing for lunch. And this goes on and on until one day he starts selling drugs. From this moment on, things turn out worse and worse for him.
Oh, peace, bro. Now you gotta pay me back. Don't fuck this up.
But no spoilers. The example of Attica shows us that even the best raised children can be faced with limited choices when it comes to surviving. It shows that their environment shapes the decisions they make. Attica would have never thought of going to the drug business if it were not to help his mom. Then you begin to understand the show's message. The common factor behind violence has something to do with poverty. Another fun fact, the very moment Top Boy was created is when Ronan Bennett, the series screenwriter, saw a 12-year-old orchestrating a drug transaction in a parking lot of a supermarket in East London. He actually says it himself. Let me read it to you. The thing these problems have in common is that they all arise directly from or are exacerbated by poverty. This is the world in which top boys thrive, the world of deprivation, racism, and exclusion. But wait, this does not mean the show excuses violence. That would be what philosophers call determinism, which means you're not responsible at all for your own actions. There's no free choice, it's all down to society. No, what you see here is how social structures make certain behaviors more likely. That doesn't mean you don't have any free choice. It just reduces the number of practical choices easily available to you. Attica could virtually have tried to apply in a non-qualified yet well-paid, respectable business, assuming that exists. But the drug option was way more available and practical. Okay, but now some of you may say, bro, at the end of the day, the show is still about social housing, drugs, gangs, single-parent families, etc. It could still spread a bunch of stereotypes. Okay, but the show is not only about disenfranchised black people. There's something universal about it. Above all, Top Boy is about love and family. All characters are motivated by one goal: caring for their loved ones.
This is a good girl. You better treat her right, or you'll have me to deal with, all right?
Ats wants to protect his mom. Duchesne wants to protect his cousin. Sully wants to be back on top for his daughter. According to some writers, the fact that the show portrays black love is the type of representation that is really needed. In that way, it's more than yet another simple, stereotypical portrayal of the Black working class that can truly speak to all. Tell us what you think in the comments, and follow That's Why for more meaningful news videos to understand our world and act on it. Make sense, make a difference.